chemical constituents and the test for the different categories of the drugs. Mainly we will be focusing on the laxatives. The laxatives are nothing but the category of the drugs which relieve the constipation, means the persons who are taking a medications, they are having a problem of side effect that is called as a constipation. So, in that cases the laxatives are nothing but the drugs that relieve the constipation by losing the stools, that is the increase in the fluidity of the stools or inducing a bowel movement, that is nothing but relieving from the constipation. We will be using these laxatives, and these laxatives, they are of different types that can be obtained from plant origin or that can be obtained from the synthetic origin. And the laxatives are also used before the bowel procedures or for the examination. So, the laxative may be in the form of pills or the capsules or in the form of liquids or in the form of foods or in the form of gums, and it may be either in the form of the suppositories. The laxatives which are of natural origin that can be used as are the aloe, rhubarb, castor oil, isabgol and senna. These are the plant products that are naturally used as the laxatives. So, these laxatives, these plant products, either that can be means their occurrence, the occurrence of these particular plants, their sources, their geographical sources, the active constituents which are responsible for the laxative action, and what are the tests to identify these particular laxatives, like each and every laxative class, and then what are their major uses, that we are going to study. Coming to the aloe, which is one of the laxative agent that can be used, which is from the plant sources, and it is a plant source which is obtained from the aloe genus, where it grows widely in the tropical climate, and it is also cultivated in the agricultural and medicinal values. And it has been cultivated because there are different species of the aloes that are available, and the synonyms for these aloes are the aloe, that is aloe vera, and 𝗪𝗏. These are the synonyms, means according to the geographical place, according to the origin or according to their languages, it can be called in the different terms, but the drug is the same, that is nothing but the aloe. So, these aloe, the biological source is it is obtained as a dried juice. The dried juice which has been obtained from the leaves of aloe barbadensis, or the juice which is obtained from the species of the aloe africana, and this plant belongs to the family of Liliaceae. And the geographical source where this occurrence is present, their occurrence is, most of the species of aloe are indigenous to Africa, but now introduced into West Indies and Europe, and now it is cultivated throughout India, but especially in the northwest Himalayas. So, how these aloe can be prepared, how the dried juice of this aloe can be used as a laxative, how it can be prepared. Let us see this one. It is commercially available in Africa, but it has been grown in the India also. So, here in the case, like the leaves of that particular plant like aloe has to be collected out, that has to be transected out, and then that has to be placed in a conical vessel where it is having some hole in that one, such that we can keep the transverse section of the leaf of the aloe, such that the juice can enter into the hole and it can be collected out. The collected out juice, when it is cooled slowly, it gets solidified and gives rise to an opaque product, and this product can be termed as hepatic or livery aloe. And the latex which was collected, concentrated rapidly and followed by sudden cooling, and the resultant product appears to be transparent. And this broken surface has a glossary surface. Such a product is commonly called as lucid or glassy aloe. So, this is how the preparation, or that is nothing but how the dried that is fresh juice of the alloy has been collected out from the plant sources. That can be used as a laxative. Then what are the morphological characters of that particular plant system like alloy? That is the color it is, the juice that is collected will be like, it is green to dark brownish black in color, and the odor of that particular juice will be characteristics, means it will not have like any smell or any odor like that, and it will be having a bitter in taste. And the size, it is available in various sizes. And coming to the solubility, means whether it is soluble in water or whether it is soluble in polar solvents or whether it is soluble in non-polar solvents. And what is the type? Here the alloy, the juice of alloy will be entirely soluble in 60% of alcohol, and it is partially soluble in water. Then what are the main chemical constituents? Because it is obtained from the plant sources, it is having the different chemical constituents. Among these chemical constituents, the chemical constituents which are of importance, which are known to exhibit this particular laxative property, that we can come across here. So, the chemical constituents, it is yellow crystalline substances known as 𝗪𝗶𝗿𝗀, which is nothing but an active ingredient, and the resin and the alloy amodine. These are the different active constituents which are present, which are responsible for the laxative action. The isobarbilene is also present in the Curaçao as well as the Cape alloys, means the alloys which are obtained from the sources of the Curaçao as well as the Cape alloys, it is having certain active constituents, that is nothing but the isobarbilene. Whereas these Cape alloys are characterized by the presence of amorphous compound, that is beta barbaloin, aloin inosides A and B. So, these are the different, means based upon the type or the species of the alloys, the different constituents will be present. So, here the main ingredients that are responsible for the laxative actions are the resin, alloy as well as the barbaloin. How do we identify this test? That is nothing but how do we identify the alloy? The alloys can be easily identified by the borax test, that is nothing but taking the above test solution, that is nothing but the fresh juice that has been collected out from the transfer section of the leaf, that has to be taken out, and along with that we need to take 0.2 grams of the borax and then heat gently and get it dissolved, and add it, take it a few drops of this solution and filled with the distilled water. If you observe the green color fluorescence, then you can indicate that it is containing the alloy, that is nothing but it is containing the active ingredients. So, this is how we can, because it is a natural source, it can be adulterated with the different categories of the drugs and different species of the drugs, but the main ingredients, how to identify these main ingredients is by the identification test. So, this is one of the tests by which we can identify the alloys that is present, that is nothing but the barbaloin or the isobarbilene or the alloy resins that is present as the main ingredient which is responsible for the laxative action. And then coming to the bromine test, take the equal volumes of the test solution, that is nothing but the equal volume of the leaf, the juice that has been collected out. Then we need to add the bromine solution and mix together. So, if it is giving the pale yellow precipitate, so it indicates that it is containing the precipitate, that is nothing but the active ingredients tetrabromoline. And the third test that is going to identify that the test to identify that particular laxatives are the test solution of the alloy that can be obtained from the different sources, that has to be mixed with the nitric acid. It gives a deepish red, brownish red or pale brownish yellow. Based on the presence of the color, we can identify whether it is a pure drug or whether it is an adulterated drug, or what is the type of the ingredient, that means the active constituent that is giving this particular test. And the Quiproline is one of the other tests by which we can identify the drug, that is nothing but take 10 ml of 0.4% of aqueous solution of alloy, add a drop of saturated solution of copper sulphate, and then add 1 gram of sodium chloride and 20 drops of ethanol. Then it provides the wine red color, which is lasting for a few hours. So, based on that we can identify, these are the 4 different identification tests for the alloys, that is identification of the different active constituents which are present in the alloy. Then what are the major uses of these alloys? Both the alloys like alloyne or official drugs, which are mostly used as purgative by exerting its action mainly on the colon. Alloys finds its use in the external aid to prevent the inflammatory disorder. Not only that, it can be also used as an active ingredient in the compound tincture, where the compound tincture of benzoin, in the preparation of the compound tincture of benzoin, the alloy will also be used as one of the constituents. And alloy gel are used in the treatment and the cure of radiation burns or the sunburn to immediate relief from the itching as well as the pain. If there is any itching or pain that is caused due to the sun, then the alloy gel can be used. And it can be also used as a hair tonic, means the juice that is obtained from the alloys can be used also as a hair tonic, that is nothing but increases the tonicity of the hair. And it stimulates the growth of the hair, and it is also used in the acne, pimples, and it is also used as a moisturizer. Apart from the laxative action, these are the major uses. Apart from the major uses are like hair tonic, skin rashes, and it can be used in the compound benzoin, tincture of benzoin, and it is also used in the external, it is also used as one of the external aids. And the rhubarb is another category of the drug that comes under the category of the laxative, which can be also used, and it is the dried underground parts, that is nothing but in the rhizome will be, the rhizomes will be used, that is nothing but the rhizome or the root of the rhubarb will be used, and it will be obtained from the 𝗪𝗵𝗶𝗁, that is nothing but the category, and it belongs to the family of Polygonaceae. And where, what is the geographical occurrence, means where it is present, where it can be obtained. It can be obtained in China, whereas the other species like 𝗪𝗵𝗶𝗁 and 𝗪𝗵𝗶𝗁, these are native of India. So, these are the species that are available in India, whereas the 𝗪𝗵𝗶𝗁 is used in the China. Then what are the different morphological characters, how we can identify this rhubarb? It is brown or yellow in color, means, and the color of the odor will be like aromatic, and the taste will be the bitter or slightly astringent. Astringent means that is precipitating the particular proteins, and the size will be around 3 to 12 centimeters long and 3 to 8 centimeters in the diameter. These are the different morphological characteristics to identify the rhubarb. Then what are the different chemical constituents that are present in the rhubarb? The rhubarb mainly contains 2.0 to 4.5% of the anthraquinone glycosides, which includes alloy amidine, chrysophenol and physonione, rhein and their derivatives. These are some of the chemical constituents that will be present in the rhubarb, and it also contains glucogallin, ellagic acid, rheotanic acid, catechin, starch, sugars, fat, pectin and calcium oxalate. So, these are some of the important constituents that will be present in the rhubarb. Apart from that, the anthraquinone glycosides are the major constituents that are present in the rhubarb, which are going to act as a laxative agent. Then how do we prepare this? The rhizomes are collected either in the spring or in the autumn from 6 to 10-year-old plants. 6 to 10-year-old plants of rhubarb will be collected out, and from that it was duly cleaned and then it has to be dried out. Then the relative larger rhizomes are cut into smaller pieces either longitudinally or transversely, and these rhizomes has to be dried off in the shade, and it should be dried artificial atmosphere in the hot wooden boxes and then exported to the commercial places where it can be used as a laxative, or it can be used in the different types of the preparations. The chemical, how do we identify this rhubarb? The rhubarb powder, when it is reacted with the ammonia, the rhubarb powder, when it is reacted with the ammonia, it gives rise to a pink coloration that indicates the presence of the rhubarb. Then the powder of this rhubarb, that is the roots, were collected and that was be treated with the 5% potassium hydroxide, which gives blood red coloration. So, it indicates that it is a positive reaction. It indicates the presence of rhubarb, and even it also gives the positive test to the Bontrager's test. Then what are the major uses? Along with the laxative property, it can be also used in the ointments in the treatment and the cure of psoriasis, that is due to the skin allergy disorder, and it can be also employed as a bitter stomachic in the treatment of diarrhea, that is during the diarrheal condition the excess loss of fluids can be taking place, and that can be either in the form of stools or in the form of vomitings. During that cases, the rhubarb powder, that is nothing but the rhizomes, the rhubarb plant, the rhizomes were collected, and these rhizome powder will be taken, that can be used as a stomachic, that is used in the diarrheal condition, and it can also be used as a purgative to release the excess amount of the gas. The castor oil is also one of the laxative that can be used easily available, but nowadays it has been synthetically available, but in the older days they used to extract this castor oil from the seeds and they used to grow this castor oil. The biological source is the castor oil, which is a fixed oil because it is obtained by the cold operation of the seeds of the Ricinus communis, which belongs to the family of Euphorbitaceae, and the geographical source is that it is produced in all tropical and subtropical countries, in Brazil, USA, Thailand, Romania, and also in India, in major places of India where it is acting as a major source, and this castor oil can be obtained directly by the cold expression condition. And the morphological characters, how we can identify these castor oil seeds are nothing but they will be like a pale yellow or the colorless liquid. This castor oil will be pale yellow or the colorless liquid, and the odor will be slight and characteristic, and the taste will be like bland, then slightly acrid and nauseating. It is highly viscous in nature and transparent liquid where it is a clear solution, and the solubility will be like it is soluble in alcohol, miscible with chloroform, solvent ether, glacial acetic acid and petroleum ether. But now the instead of going for the cold expression, because we have the naturally available castor oil preparations available in the market, so many of us are using this particular commercially available castor oil instead of taking the collecting the castor oil and getting extracted by the cold expression method. The chemical constituents that are present in the castor oil are triglycerides of ricinoleic acid, that is around 80%, and the viscosity of castor oil is due to the ricinoleic acid, and the other glycerides that are present are isoricinoleic acid, linoleic acid, stearic acid, isostearic acid, and it contains the heptaldehyde as well as the sebacic acid. The majority of the ingredient that is present, the constituent that is present is the ricinoleic acid, that is around 80%, which is mainly the viscosity, and it is a fixed oil, so which is mainly used as a laxative. How can we prepare this particular castor oil? Usually the oil is obtained after removing the seeds, that is nothing but the seed coat will be very hard, like it will be like slippery in nature. We need to remove that particular coat of the seed, and then that has to be crushed out, and then that makes loosen and removed by blowing the air into current. Then first the seed coats has to be removed out, and then that has to be crushed out. The kernels are placed in oil explorers and expressed out at the room temperature, or else we can also done by the cold expression method by pressing that particular removing the coat and then pressing particular seeds so that the oil can be collected out. Or else we can, when we are doing in a large, that is in the large quantities, then we need to keep all the kernels in a oil explorers and expressed at the room temperature within 1 to 2 tons pressure per square inch till about 30% of oil is obtained. Then the oil should be filtered out, but it contains a poisonous principle that is called as resin. This is one of the major ingredient which is very much poisonous, and the enzyme lipase is responsible for this one. To remove resin, the steam has to be passed into the oil at a temperature between 80 to 100 such that the resin gets coagulated and precipitated out and the lipase becomes inactive. So, if the lipase will be active, then it will be poisonous, and if we are going to decrease the lipase, that is when we are inactivating that particular lipase, then the resin, which is nothing but a poisonous one, can be coagulated out, and the oil is then filtered, and it has to be it is having the acidity value of 145, and this cold drawn castor oil is used for the medicinal purposes, that is used for different purposes, like it is not only used for the it is not only used as a laxative, but also it can be used for the paints, enamels, or it can be used for the hair in order to increase the volume of the hair also. Then what are the different chemical tests for the castor oil? The chemical test for the castor oil is take the castor oil and then add the petroleum ether, it gets completely soluble out. Then we can indicate that the castor oil is present. Then second one, the castor oil with equal volumes of alcohol, clear liquid, then cool at room temperature, that is at 0 degrees centigrade for 3 hours, the castor oil will be present out. So, these are the different chemical tests to identify the castor oil. Then what are the major advantages that are obtained with the castor oil? They are used as cathartic, and it is also used as laxative, lubricant, paints, enamels, varnishes, grease, polish, printing, ink, aromatic castor oil, or in the form of capsules. Why? Because we cannot, due to this order, we cannot take the castor oil directly. Instead of that, we can pack this particular oil in the form of a capsule, like soft gelatin capsules, or else in some cases in the creams, in order to protect in order to have the cathartic or the lubricant effect. In that cases, we can also use the creams, and it is also used in the jellies, used in the lipstick, because it is a permanent fixed oil. It can produce a layer over the skin. So, that is nothing but it produces a layer over the lip. So, it can be used in the preparation of the lipstick, and it can be used in the perfumed hair oil, because it gives strength to the hair, and it can be also used in the preparation of the soap, and it can be also used as the hair tonic. So, these are the major advantages and uses of this castor oil in addition to the laxative property. The other drug that can be used as a laxative is isabgol. Isabgol, it is a plantain seed. The other names are ashwagandha, isabgol, psyllium husk, and the other name is called as plantain seed. Where these 𝗪𝗏 can be produced out, means where the 𝗪𝗏 can be grown out. What is the biological source, from which source we are going to produce this 𝗪𝗏? It can be produced from the dried seeds of plant called as Plantago ovata, belonging to the family of Plantagenaceae. And the geographical source, it is cultivated largely in the Gujarat, Punjab and South Rajasthan. What are the morphological characteristics of the 𝗪𝗏? The 𝗪𝗏 seeds are odorless and the taste will be like gum like, that is nothing but the mucilaginous, and the color will be like yellowish brown and the shape will be like oval, and the size of the seeds will be like 1.6 to 3.4 mm length and 1.5 to 1.76 mm width. And the main chemical constituents that are present in the 𝗪𝗏 are the pentosone, which is more constituent which is producing the mucilagenic property. Along with that, it also contains the xylose, arabinose, fixed oil and the protein along with the amino acids. The main uses of the 𝗪𝗏 is the laxative, that is used in the treatment of chronic constipation. The 𝗪𝗏 seed has cooling property and demulcent property, and it can be also used as an expectorant, and it can be also used as an emollient, that is soothing power, and it is also involved in the precipitation of the protein, that is nothing but the astringent properties. And it can be commonly used in diarrheal as well as dysentery condition in which the excess loss of the fluids in the body takes place. So, in that case we can take the 𝗪𝗏 seeds because it contains the protein as well as the amino acids as one of the constituents along with the sugars. And it can be also used in the treatment of the ulcers, and it reduces the risk of heart attack by decreasing the serum cholesterol through proper excretion of bile acids. So, if the bile acids are excreted out, then the amount of the cholesterol, because the cholesterol upon degradation it gets converted into the cholesterol can be converted into the synthesis of the bile acids. So, if we are using this 𝗪𝗏, it can increase, means it increases the conversion of the cholesterol to the bile acids such that the cholesterol levels can be decreased out. So, it can be used in case of the heart attack, and it is also used in the fever, burning sensations, skin problems, and also in the affections of the infections that are present in the bladder, urethra and the kidney, and it is internally used in the thirst and cough. So, these are the major uses that are associated with the 𝗪𝗏 seeds. How we can identify the 𝗪𝗏 seeds? Take the 𝗪𝗏 seeds and then treat with the ruthenium red, then it produces the red color, and then it indicates the presence of the mucilage that is present. And the 𝗪𝗏 when treated with the threonine, when treated with the thionine test solution, you have to wait for 10 minutes and then wash with alcohol. If the solution turns to violet to red, then it indicates the presence of the mucilage that is present, that is nothing but the ricinoleic acid that is present in the 𝗪𝗏. The other drug that can be used as a laxative is the senna. There are different types of sennas like Indian senna. The other synonyms are senna ki patti, sonamukhi and alexandrial, but in Telangana or in AP, in the Telugu states, we can call it as sonamukhi aku, that is available in the market also. And the biological source is the dried leaflets of Cassia angustifolia, belonging to the family of Leguminaceae. We can identify these. The leaves of senna are available in the market, and the geographical source is Indian senna is cultivated out and collected in India, and it is also cultivated mainly in Tinnavelli, Madurai and Ramnathpuram districts of Tamil Nadu, because where the usage of this senna will be more in cases of Tamil Nadu as well as in Telangana, but a majority of the people doesn't know the use of this senna, but it is available in the market. And the morphological characters are yellowish green in color, odor is slight, taste is mucilaginous, means having some mucility property like and slightly bitter in taste, and the size of the leaf will be 7 to 8 mm in width and 25 to 60 mm in length. The main constituents that are present in the senna are anthraquinone glycosides, which includes senosides A, senosides B, senosides D, C, senosides D, rein and aloyamodine, and it also contains camphorol and elloflavanol. These are the mainly chemical constituents which are present in the senna. How we can identify this senna? The senna can be identified by the Born-Tragus test. The Born-Tragus test, the drug means the powder of this leaf is to be boiled with a dilute sulfuric acid, then it has to be filtered out, then it should be treated with the benzene or the ether or chloroform is added, and then shake well through the solution. The organic layer is then separated out, and then we need to add the ammonia solution, and then the ammonical layer shows the pink to red colors, means the color of the solution will turns to a red color. So, it indicates the presence of the anthraquinone glycosides, which are the major constituents which are present in the senna. The major uses of the senna are purgative in constipation, and it is also used as a substitute. And the adulterants includes the leaves and leaflets of the following related plants like Cassia obovata, that is nothing but dog senna, wild plants of Cassia angustifolia. So, based on their occurrence and based on their adulterants, the active constituents can be easily identified by this identification test. Coming to the next category of the drugs that are used are the cardiotonics. The cardiotonics, these are the cardiotonic agent is a type of a drug that enhances the contraction of the heart muscle, leading to improved blood flow throughout the body by increasing the force of contraction of the myocardium. Apart from the different synthetic drugs that are available, but the majority, that is the cardiotonics which are available from the plant sources are mainly used in some conditions, and that can be used in the homeopathy as well as the Ayurvedic preparations. The digitalis is one of the plant where it is also called as purple foxglove, or it can be also called as the finger flower, or it is also called as lady's glove, or it can be called as foxglove leaves, or the other name is called as Folia digitalis. The biological source of the digitalis are the dried leaves of Digitalis purpurea, Linn, which belongs to the family of Scrupulariaceae. The geographical source, it is mainly found in England, Germany, France, North America, Iraq, Japan, Kurdistan, Mexico, Nepal, Spain, Turkey and also in India. The morphology of the digitalis is the size is 10 to 30 centimeters long and 4 to 10 centimeters wide. whereas the shape will be like lanceolate or broadly ovate, and the leaves have a subacute apex and the decurrent base and crenate or the dentate margin. The upper surface of the leaf is hairy, slightly pubescent and dark green, and it will be like little wrinkle that the folds will takes place in the leaf. And the lower surface of the leaf is hairy, greyish green as well as the pubescent. The color will be like it is dark greyish green in color, and it is odorless, and the taste will be like bitter. And the digitalis leaves contains the glycosides, that is 0.2 to 0.4% of the primary as well as the secondary glycosides. And the glycosides that are mainly involved in the digitalis are the purpurea glycosides A and B, and along with that glucogitoloxin. Glucogitoloxin are the primary glycosides that are present. Because of the greater stability of the secondary glycosides and lesser absorption of the primary glycosides, high content of primary glycosides are not considered ideal, whereas the secondary glycosides are very much useful in case of the digitalis. The purpurea glycosides A and B are present in the fresh leaves by their hydrolysis of digitoxin and glucose or gitoxin, and the glucose are obtained respectively. Means the purpurea glycosides upon hydrolysis, they are going to yield a glycan part as well as a glycon part. The glycon part will be like glucose, whereas the aglycon part will be like gitoxin or giditoxin. Digitoxin yields on hydrolysis and digitoxygenin and 3-digitoxose. And the digitalis leaves also contains the glycosides which are like odorless, the odoroside H, gitaloxin, viridoxin and glucoviridoxin. These are the other different constituents which are present. Means the digitoxin which is obtained will be upon hydrolysis, they will be yielding this one along with the other glycosides, like it contains like odoroside and gitaloxin. So, how we can identify these digitalis leaves, that is whether the purpurea glycosides are present in that particular digitalis leaves or not, that can be identified by this test. The identification test for this purpurea glycosides are nothing but the Baljet test. Take the thick section of the leaves, add the sodium picrate reagent. If yellow to orange color is obtained, then it indicates the presence of the glycosides. The legal test, the glycoside is to be dissolved in a pyridine solution, then add the sodium nitroprusside, that one, and make it alkaline, then pink to red color is produced. So, it indicates the presence of the purpurea glycosides. And the Keller-Kiliani test, this isolated glycoside is dissolved in the glacial acetic acid, and a few drops of ferric chloride will be added along with the sulfuric acid, which forms the lower layer, and the reddish brown color is seen between the two liquids, and the upper layer will becomes bluish green. This indicates the presence of the digitalis glycosides, that is nothing but the purpurea glycosides. Then what are the different uses of this digitalis? The foxglove is widely used in herbal medicine with a recognized stimulator effect on the heart, because it is acting as a cardiotonic. It is very much useful and it is very much available in the herbal market, and it is also used in the allopathic medicine in the treatment of the heart complaints, and it has profound tonic effect upon a diseased heart, enabling the heart to beat more slowly, powerfully and regularly without requiring more oxygen. Means during the heartbeat, that is during the heart problems, the excess amount of the oxygen should be taken out. So, in that cases we can use this digitalis to produce the tonic effect such that it is going to stimulate and it is going to reduce the amount of the oxygen that is required for the heart patient. And it also lowers the volume of the blood, and it also lessens the load on the heart, and it also stimulates the flow of the urine. That is nothing but, if the flow of the urine is increased, the blood volume can be decreased out. If the blood volume is decreased out, then the load on the heart also decreased out. So, that is the major mechanism of action that is associated with the digitalis, that is nothing but the digitalis purpurea. That is nothing but the foxglove. It can be also employed in the treatment of internal hemorrhage and in also the inflammatory disorders, and that is used in the delirium tremens, epilepsy, and in acute mania and other various diseases. The digitalis has a cumulative effect in the body, so the dose has to be decided carefully. Why? Because if the digitalis is given, there will be an increase in the heartbeat or sudden increase in the heartbeat. So, we need to give the carefully, means the digitalis should be given to a particular patient only in the with the help of the medical practitioner, because it produces the cumulative effect. If there is a sudden increase or sudden decrease in the flow of the oxygen or in the blood, that is nothing but the contraction and relaxation of the heart muscle, there will be a difference in the ECG, and it is going to produce the different types of the disorders. The other digitalis is, the digitalis lanata is also one of the plant material which is obtained from the scropulariaceae. This can be called as the Grecian foxglove, and the morphology will be like 30 centimeters and 4 centimeters broad, with the entire margin and the apex is acuminate, whereas in the case of digitalis purpurea it will be like dentate, whereas this will be like acuminate. And the color will be like dark greyish green in color, odorless, and taste will be like bitter. And digitalis lanata contains the cardioglycosides like lanatoside A, lanatoside B, lanatoside and lanatoside E. And the lanatoside A and B are acetyl derivatives of purpurea glycosides A and B respectively. Hydrolysis of lanatoside C yields like decoxin, a crystalline active glycoside. The digitalis lanata has gained much importance because of the less cumulative effect and 3 to 4 times greater activity than digitalis purpurea. So, that is the main use, and they have the same actions that of digitalis purpurea. And it is also employed in the treatment of auricular fibrillation and congestive heart failure. When there is a congestive heart failure, in that situation we can give this lanata, digitalis lanata, as the drug substances. And their use should also be supervised by a qualified practitioner, since excess cause the nausea, vomiting, slow pulse, visual disturbances, anorexia and fainting. So, these are the major symptoms that are associated with the digitalis lanata, because it contains the lanatoside A, lanatoside A, B and C. Arjuna bark, it is also one of the natural product that can be used as a cardiotonic, and the synonyms for the Arjuna bark are Arjuna bark and Arjun. These are the two synonyms for the Arjuna bark, and it is a dried stem bark of the plant which is known as Terminalia Arjuna rob, belonging to the family Combritaceae. The geographical source is, it is common in Indian peninsula, grown in the side of the streams and very common in Chota Nagpur region, and the size will be like the pieces of various sizes, about 15 into 10 centimeter, and 1 means height, width and length, and it should be like shape will be flat, and color of the outer side as well as inner side of the bark is greenish brown in color, and it will not the odor is none because it cannot be like odorless or any other thing, but the taste is like astringent. The dry bark obtained from the stem contains about the 20 to 24% of the tannins, whereas the bark obtained from the lower branches is up to only 15 to 18%. And the tannins which are present are mixed with type which is containing both of hydrolysable tannins as well as the condensed tannins. They are known to be present are catechol and plus gallocatechol, epicatechol, epigallocatechol and ellagic acid. It also, apart from containing the tannins, it also contains the flavonoids such as arginalone, arginanone and biacillin, which has been reported from the stem bark. Along with that, the triterpenoid compounds like arginine, arginine, argin glucoside 1 and argin glucoside 2 and terminoic acid have also been reported from the bark. Not only that, it also contains the root of the arjuna plant contains a number of triterpenoids such as arginoside 1 and arginoside 2, terminic acid, oleonic acid, argonic acid, arginolic acid. So, these are the major constituents which are present in the arjuna bark. How do we identify this arjuna bark? Take the ethereal extract of the arjuna, which shows means the bark of the arjuna plant should be taken out, then we need to add some ether solution, then it gives the pinkish fluorescence under ultraviolet light. Major uses of this arjuna plant are, it can be used as a diuretic and it can be also used as a astringent property, and the diuretic properties can be attributed to the triterpenoids which are present in the fruits, decrease the blood pressure and the heart rate. That is a major use of the arjuna bark, because if it decreases the blood pressure and heart rate, because if the diuretic properties are increased, then the blood volume will be decreased out, then the load on the heart can also be decreased out by lowering the blood pressure and by reducing the load on the heart. So, because of that it can be used as a cardiotonic, and it is exclusively used in the past by the local tanneriers for the tanning of animal hides, means nothing but whatever the animals means the animal material that has been produced out, that will be treated with the local tannins, that is the bark powder, and it is used, yields a very firm leather of color which is similar to the barberryl tannin leather. The dried bark of Terminalia tomancia is also used as an adulterant for the drug, because it is one of the drug that is available, because the bark of the arjuna plant can be used as a cardiotonic. It can be also adulterated with the Terminalia tomensosa, and it can be distinguished arjuna plant by the fluorescence, that is by ethereal extract. When you are kept under the UV light, then fluorescence can be produced out. So, this is how we can identify the arjuna bark from the Terminalia tomensia. And it is one of the major ingredients that is involved in the preparation of abana, arjuna churna, arjuna grita and madhu shantak. So, these are the different types of preparations that are available, in which the arjuna bark will be used as one of the ingredient for these preparations. With this, we will be completing the first session, and then we will start with the other session. We will be starting within 10 minutes the other session.